Well, let's give this a look here. So this is the official trailer, not the teaser trailer, but this is the official trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Let's take a look. Then let me know. There.
I mean, you could go off on the armor and just that opening shot, but I will refrain from doing so yet.
So yeah, a lot of people have an issue with the armor. What's going on with the armor there?
It's so inaccurate. There's no real basis in it in any time period or cultural time, especially in this era of Bronze Age. And even though the Odyssey was written it's meant to take place a few hundred years before, Homer was like alive. The thing is, we still know what that armor would have looked like, but also by depictions of vases and sets and other artistic depictions from ancient Greece of that era depicting the Odyssey. There's this armor looks so generic. It looks so store-bought. It looks like something like a teenager would make. This looks like an NPC in a generic fantasy game. And Nolan wants to prop himself up as a very authentic, historically accurate director, like when he did Dunkirk, or where he did Oppenheimer. It's there's a lot of research in those movies, but here just this armor just looks so colorless and bland. Also, armor being colorless is kind of linked to the idea of all these armors we have and these vases we have and these pots we have from ancient Greece, they're black or white, so obviously these colors were very muted. That's not really true. The reason why they look like that now is because it's thousands of years old and the color has worn off. Everything in this movie looks so old and bad and generic, and it feels like such a waste of opportunity from just representing a culture and history, but also just interesting aesthetics.
I mean, the only thing I'll contribute to the armor thing is that this is not the Odyssey. Last time I checked, is not based off of a real historical event. So it's why? I guess it's an interesting conversation about how much it deviates from actual Greek tradition and stuff. But at the same time, I'm sort of why are we arguing about the way the armor looks in a fable? I mean, this is kind of knocking 300 for not being historically accurate.
I did that.
Super made fun of for not being historically accurate. What are you
right,
talking?
But it's just it's a pointless endeavor because it's so stylized and so very much a different artistic interpretation of again a fable. So it's
I think there's a choice that you could make to be hey, we're leaning into the fantasy. We're really leaning into the sort of myth of it. And I think you could, in theory, use that as an excuse to kind of go all right, well, we're going to kind of make something that we just think looks good on film.
Yeah.
And go outside of exactly what the historical armor of that time would have been. I think that's an angle you could take, but I think there's two problems with that is Nolan has been every interview he's nope, check it out, I'm making the most accurate version of it, I'm all about the accuracy, and he keeps saying that, which makes me feel I can't give him that excuse.
Yeah.
And then I just think that the styling is kind of boring looking. Yeah. Even outside of it being accurate, don't even think about that. I just think it looks very bland and uncreative.
Yeah, it's also the issue with saying it's a fable or it's fiction. There's a big difference between any aspect of mythology and religion and culture versus any a comic book or Lord of the Rings. This is based in a group, in a a time period, in a culture. And there is the discussion of now who owns Greek myth. The problem when people say, well, it didn't actually happen, it's okay. Well, also when you say it didn't actually happen, yeah, Sinners didn't actually happen, but if all of a sudden the main character just had an electric guitar from modern times, that would throw you off of the movie.
Did you see Sinners? I mean, there's a scene where a guy is singing the blues and the spirits of dancers from totally different time periods.
The issue with that is that that's meant to be in the movie. It's not oh, this existed back then, but still culturally and historically accurate, the whole movie itself. Yeah, vampires didn't exist, but this movie's still pretty accurate to that time period. It's
Right.
like, and when they do pull from Spirits of the Future, like there's a reason for it in the story. There's no reason for this in the story.
Yeah, we only 14 seconds in. Wow, people going that 14 seconds in, man. Hey, we just got done with the Universal logo and Christopher Nolan. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Let's continue. And there, people. I saw
Bible
people.
It looks like Bible Man.
Yeah, it does. Or like Shaq from fucking Steel.
Yep, that's exact. Yep.
So people were memeing this a lot from the trailer there, it seemed like, and people don't know what Bible Man looks like. So this is Bible Man right here. So that's what it and what was do people remember in Mad TV? What was the character name in Mad TV that they did? I forgot the character's name there, but anyway, yeah, so that's what Bible Man looked like there. But people also, I've been seeing people meme this, and Tom Hardy, people put his made him into like handsome Squidward, or Tom Hardy's Bane and Dark Knight Rises there with that. So this is Benny Safdie that you have here, who, he was also in another Nolan movie. Oh, that's Bible Man again. Sorry. He was in Oppenheimer there. So he was just recently in Oppenheimer. So you got that, but very,
spine attached to the back of his head for some reason.
That look cool to you? A little cool?
Not really. It feels out of place.
Yeah, the spine is kind of weird. Like, as much as I'm like doing the whole it's a fable thing, like the spine is kind of an odd choice, and I don't really know if I get it yet.
It feels like that Russian movie, like Night Watch or something. Like, it feels more out of that than it does out of like a mythology film.
Okay. Does anybody know who Benny Safdie's playing off the top of their head?
He's meant to be Agamemnon.
Okay.
He was the leader of the Achaean forces. He
was
wasn't the king. I mean, he was a king, but he wasn't the king of Achaeans the way like that Troy movie tried to make it.
Yeah, and that was Brian Cox, right, in that film?
Yeah. I do think the casting's pretty good for that movie for the most part. It's not great, but
no, it's not very good.
And then you got John Bernthal to the left. And who is John
Let me
Bernthal?
tell you something, man.
Yeah, John Bernthal's Menelaus, which is like, that's a interesting casting choice, especially the fact they make him bald, because Menelaus is like one of the few characters who we have like a description of like his hair. Like, he's one of the very few characters, and like they make him bald. Just
and he's supposed to be the younger brother, but John Bernthal looks, I don't know.
To be fair, they would be like 40s, 50s by the end of the Trojan War. So,
right. Okay. So let's keep going.
After years of war,
and then you got Matt Damon there, who is playing Odysseus himself. How do you all like the casting of Matt Damon as Odysseus?
I think this whole movie feels like baby's first fan casting.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt Damon's a great actor. I'm sure he'll do good in the role, but like, this is going to be a weird comparison, but it kind of seems like Nolan is sort of falling in the Hideo Kojima route of like just casting big name actors to play every single role and not really like making much sense of it in the moment. But I mean, Matt Damon is good, so I hope
he's so pale. This is the most pale man to play Odysseus.
So he's supposed to be a little bit more olive skin because of the sun.
Well, it's also the fact that Odysseus was in a fairly young, but still like seafaring country. It's like Odysseus is like known for being on ships. It's just like, it's an interesting choice. I think the most issue I have is with the main four of Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Anne Hathaway, which I know they're the biggest characters in this movie, but it's like, yeah, that's mostly where my issues lie, casting choice.
no
Oh, is anybody gonna say anything or no? Okay.
one could stand between my men. And home.
Then you got Tom Holland there.
He looks like one of the background characters, one of the background human characters in Shrek. Like,
maybe he just woke up. Maybe he just, woke up. He put on he still got his nightie on. Maybe that's what it is, man.
Well, this is Tom Holland trying to prove like I can act in prestige movies that aren't Spider-Man. Please take me seriously, guys.
It's kind of weird because Tom Holland's he's closer to being like a decade older than Telemachus was in the Iliad. He still kind of looks too young. Just like
he's got the Michael Cera problem.
A little. Just like,
He
and
needs
he's
to
playing
grow a beard or something like that just to age him up a little bit.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, like
Can
maybe
he?
like a
I
rat
don't know, maybe.
stash, but
Yeah. But yeah, he's playing the son of Odysseus there. He's playing the son there, who is on a mission to find his father there. So that's playing there. And then you have Anne Hathaway there, who's playing the wife there. I mean,
Penelope.
yeah, Penelope there, who I mean, I always love Anne Hathaway. I've Anne Hathaway's amazing, and I do love me
Shockingly pale for the climate too.
yeah. So, and also same thing. So same thing with Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland. You all agree they're too white.
A little,
Yeah.
definitely. I think maybe you can make the argument, maybe like Odysseus, because he does get touched up by the goddesses every once in a great while. Like maybe you can make the argument, like, oh, his skin would be like there might have been something removed or like blemish, but it's like I don't know, like. I think it's interesting compared to something like the Odyssey miniseries from the 90s of like they look appropriate. Like these look like people who would spend time in the sun, like by the beach and all that.
Right.
Okay. Well, they don't have the science yet, man, that the sun causes cancer. They don't have that science yet, man.
No, Nolan doesn't
Their
like the sun. He doesn't like color.
He's got Tim Burton whispering in his ear like a little devil on his shoulder.
The devil.
Not even me.
What about the things like the ships and what about that? Does that look good?
I think they're mostly good.
Yeah, the ships look fine. I don't have any issue with those.
Maybe Nolan spent all his money on ships and now he's like, shit, I gotta do costumes.
He
Well, I
built,
think the
like,
cinema-
30 real ships, and there's like, we're out of money.
I just think the cinematography in general looks pretty good. Like stylistic choices aside, I think the Vista shots look really good, and like the lighting seems pretty on point for like the scene composition and stuff. So that always is good for Nolan.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Nolan's a very talented director and like cinematographer, but like I think like it's just like I think this movie will be good. It just feels like he's going a shockingly safe like Hollywood route with it.
Right.
I think that's a good shot. I like this shot. That's good.
I think it's interesting, but with the context of the Trojan horse, there's a few things that might be here, but just.
What about you, Sage? You like this shot?
I think the shot composition is good. I think I do, I think the camera is placed very well and it's capturing the moment well. But I don't love like the color grading throughout it.
You know, Troy's in Turkey.
There you have the Cyclops there.
Poisons.
So they said it's animatronic. It's not going to be CGI. It's going to be all animatronic there.
Interesting.
So what do you guys think about that? That it's not going to be CGI. It's going to.
Well, that was the first thing I think I actually heard about the movie when they first announced it. Was that they were building this giant like puppet animatronic in like an actual cave in Greece, and that got me really excited for the film until recently when I started seeing more stuff from it, and then it kind of went back down. But I still think that is the kind of thing. That is what I expect Nolan to do, to try and pull something like that off that is unconventional. And it feels like a choice that I want like throughout the movie or with all of it, and I think that could end up being really cool. I just wish that he was applying that to like, more choices.
The thing I'm most interested in just in this movie in general is like how he balances the sort of gritty Nolanisms that he's kind of known for with the more fantastical elements. Because he, aside from stuff like Interstellar and maybe Tenet, he hasn't really played with like overly traditional like fantasy elements like you'd see in a Cyclops or a Siren or any of the other Greek creatures that you would see. So I think that's going to be like, to me, the most interesting thing to see how he balances both, the Nolan grittiness that he's known for, but like the fantastical elements.
Okay. Is there gonna be any voice for the Cyclops? Does Cyclops speak at all a little bit?
He does speak, but the thing is like the Cyclops he's not like sophisticated in the way that men are, because like he doesn't like obey the laws of Xenia. because when they say, "Hey, we're seeking refuge. We're just here for our time being," the Cyclops immediately kills like 2 men. And he eats one of them without even cooking them, and that was like kind of to show that the Cyclops wasn't like human in a way. Like he was inhuman. Of like he didn't like cater to guests. That he didn't like. He just ate raw meat.
Maybe he likes his steaks rare. You know, some people,
Yeah.
you know, some people eat that way, man. Right. All right. I don't know who would be. I mean, did they say who's going to voice the Cyclops? Did they already say that, or
that I don't think I've heard.
I don't know.
Vin Diesel? I'll pick Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, get in there, get in the booth, man. Voice the Cyclops.
Out, we are Groot.
Get Christian Bale, you know, reunite him with Nolan so he can do his Batman voice with the Cyclops.
Oh, yeah, do that. I guess Christopher Nolan's got some new regulars now. He doesn't fuck with Bale anymore, I guess. I guess he wants to blank out Batman from his memory.
Yeah.
He asked Christian Bale first, but he said he's like, all right, let me actually put on 12,000 pounds. So I decided the Cyclops. He's like, I can't let you do that to yourself.
I think that's pretty good. The water looks really good there. The blue of the water. I like
That's
that.
one of the few shots that I think I actually really like the color grading in.
Yeah. And do you all think this is the scene they're running away from the Cyclops there? Or
Yeah, it's gotta be.
okay. Yeah, I mean that one dude, he getting the fuck out of there. Dude at the bottom right there, he jumping and shit. He getting the fuck out of there.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
The Odyssey there. Yeah. I mean, it is Anne Hathaway. I think I can make it back. It's Anne Hathaway. Definitely make it back. All right. That was it. So yeah. I mean, Mike, I know you said a lot in the start of it. You kind of seem like you unleashed that. Do you have any more about it there about the Odyssey? I mean, you said you're still looking forward to the movie though.
Yeah, because Christopher Nolan is a good director. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like a big waste of his own potential as a director. It felt like, I don't know, he wanted to like do something a bit safer because he felt like, well, will people like be weirded out if I do any of the designs or anything a bit too out there? So, but it's also that level of like, if you want something that's like historical accuracy, you're not getting that. If you want something that's going to be like mythic accuracy, you're not getting that. If you want something that's going to be like interesting, armor-wise, stylized, like Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, you're not getting that. It kind of reminds me of like those gritty modern reboots that they gave like Robin Hood in like 2017, where they try to make them like SWAT outfits and like military uniforms.
Oh, Ridley Scott's Robin Hood?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, there's
Russell Crowe.
Yeah. I think that it might be. Yeah, but it's just like, why they like, it's like, it kind of gives them the vibe of like, they have crossbows like they're like shotguns and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this more as sort of like a singular artistic experiment more than like a historically or mythical accuracy movie. I'm just here more for like, what is Christopher Nolan's take on a big fantasy epic? And yeah, maybe this could have been a little bit more stylized or like interesting look at, but I think Mike is right that the filmmaking should be on point because he knows how to do these movies. But I'm more interested to see like how the fantasy combines with his typical style and how those clashing of styles make for a movie.
What about you, Sage?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a bad film at the end of the day. I think he is just too good at like all of the technical elements of a film and filmmaking for that to happen. I just wish it was more interesting looking to me personally, I'm sure it's going to have its audience. I don't think it's going to be in danger of not doing well at the box office or anything like that, although I might watch it on my phone just to annoy Christopher Nolan.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that it will be a plenty competent film. I just wish I was excited about it, and I'm not. And Man, the casting I think still is a big thing
Yeah.
that really sticks out to me. Is I just have a hard time seeing any of these actors in this setting. And I mean, even in there was another preview. I guess it was the teaser in the theaters. What, tail end of not last year, but a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Where you did have John Bernthal like going up to Tom Holland, going like, "Hey, let me tell you something, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about your dad." And I'm like, they're not acting like they don't feel like they're pulling into this world at all. I feel like they're just kind of them.
Kind of the iPhone face epidemic that we've seen a bit forefront. It's like
Yeah.
I think he could fit in a time period like this, but him as Menelaya specifically just seems like kind of odd casting. Just
You need to ban some of those like New Jersey like every couple sentence catchphrases that he has.
no, yeah, it's like John Bernthal really does act like that in every movie he's in. Just like,
And he's really good at it. And
no, yeah, he's good.
Things, but that's not the place for it.
But Mike, what if I told you that the Newark, Greek centurion force was a real thing that existed, and John Bernthal is just pulling from that experience, I guess.
So we saw Matt Damon, we saw Tom Holland, we saw Anne Hathaway, we saw John Bernthal, Benny Safdie. In this trailer, we didn't see Zendaya, who was playing Athena.
That's weird. That's so weird. It's such
playing Athena there. We don't see Charlize Theron, who's playing Cersei. We don't see that. We don't see Robert Pattinson. I know Robert Pattinson. He was in the teaser that showed.
He's Antinous or Antaeus. He's one of the suitors.
Yeah, he's in that.
Oh.
And then we don't see Lupita Nyong'o. Who's Lupita Nyong'o playing?
She's Helen. We do see her in the previous teaser. She's behind John Bernthal as Agamemnon.
You also have John Leguizamo, who's in this.
I'm sure he won't feel even a little out of place when he talks.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe one of the suitors, or like one of the.
He's the faithful servant to Odysseus.
Okay, slave.
How do you pronounce this? Eumaios. As I say it, EUMA.
It's close enough.
Yeah, Eumaios. Let's see there. I don't know this actor. Him. Oh, I think I do know him. He was in Tenet. Himish Patel.
Yeah. Who is he gonna play?
He says here he's playing Eurycleus.
Eurycleus. He's Odysseus's brother-in-law, and he's his like co-captain. It's kind of fun because he's pretty stupid in the Iliad. Just not that smart of a guy. He's only co-captain because of nepotism, basically.
Oh, okay. Then you have Will Yun Lee, who's one of the shipmates in it there. You also have Mia Goth, who's playing Melantho.
She was one of this. She was Penelope's slave as well.
Yes, as a maid of Odysseus and Penelope there. Jimmy Gonzalez, I don't know, the actor isn't doesn't seem like they have anything here. Cepheus, there's one of also just another shipmate there.
Just to interrupt, this cast is loaded. Like I have to imagine most of these people aren't going to have super big roles, because how do you balance out a movie that has like Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, and not even counting like Zendaya or Robert Pattinson, all Lupita Nyong'o. Like, this just seems loaded cast.
And then some other people, I don't know who they're playing, but they're also supporting. You have Elliot Page in this as well.
I'm guessing he's playing Tiresias, just as because Tiresias's gender did change twice in the myth, and so some people have been assuming he's playing Tiresias, the prophet in the underworld, who is Tiresias is a man now because he was a man, then he was a woman, then he was a man again. And he gave birth actually as a woman, which is that's interesting, but just.
That's why he turned back into a man. He's like, oh man, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah,
man.
He stepped on the snake again. But
then you got Corey Hawkins, you got James Remar, you have Logan Marshall Green. Damn, he couldn't get Tom Hardy back. He brought in fake Tom Hardy, brought in Logan Marshall Green.
To be honest, I think Tom Hardy would probably fit more as Odysseus than Matt Damon, especially remember the first 5 minutes of Fury Road where we see Tom Hardy and he's all tan and he has a big beard. And he's kind of short too, because that's an interesting thing about Odysseus is that he's not that remarkably attractive in a lot of descriptions. He's kind of unextraordinary. The only thing that really sticks out is that he has this really kind of grotesque scar on his leg that gives him away. And Matt Damon, like, he's a handsome man, but it's like, I don't know, he feels a bit too generic Hollywood leading man for me.
Okay. Any of you feel like that? Maybe should have been maybe somebody like some other Christopher Nolan regulars, Christian Bale, Tom Hardy. Maybe
I definitely am not feeling Matt Damon. I don't know who I would want for sure instead, but I'm definitely not feeling Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Just like I don't. This is
it's not that I don't like him at all. I just, again, this particular part just doesn't seem right.
It could have been interesting to have like a more unknown actor play the lead role and maybe have all the supporting actors be like the household names, just as sort of a clashing of like, tiers of actors. Because like as it is right now, everyone here is borderline everyone is an A-list actor. So it would have been interesting in that regard. But yeah.
So we'll see. This movie's coming out July 17th, 2026 there. We'll see there. Be interesting if John Bernthal just says fuck this, pulls out an AK, pulls out a M16. double M16 there. Oh man.
As long as he doesn't rub the back of his head too much like he did in Walking Dead.
That's his tick, man. He got to do that, man. That's like when Florence Pugh does the frowny face. He got to rub the back of his head, man. That's the interesting ticks there. Man, it'd be funny if he does the double M16 shot and it says "in the memory of Homer." It'd be funny. Kind of good there. Before I let you guys go, let's look at some of these YouTube comments. Let's see what some of these YouTube people, what the streets are saying. This comment says, "Props to Christian Bale for removing one of his eyes for the role of Cyclops. Unbelievable commitment to the craft." People have also been pointing this out. It seems like Matt Damon has a lot of movies where his whole plot of the movie is he has to get back home. Someone says with this comment, once again, Matt Damon needs to go back home. He did that in The Martian. He did that in the Bourne movies. He did that in that. So people are saying like it's another thing, so he has to go that. Yes, there's that. Somebody said can't wait for the musical edits on this. Well, that let's see here. Somebody mentioned I Am Batman there with that one. So yeah. So have you all been seeing some chatter? You think people are mostly yay or nay on this? Mostly
the people seem very split.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of both. I
do think though, if this was like 10 years ago, more people would have been on Nolan's side to a degree. However, at this point, with like the rise of Greek myth retellings and kind of like more people of like producers and archaeologists and like people who are like experienced in classical art and like mythology are like, hey, I think you're kind of overstepping to a degree here. That's kind of caused more of a discussion now, because it's just we've had stuff like Son of Achilles, the Percy Jackson show is getting revamped, got the epic music. It's not even to say like all these are bad; they're not. But it's like at this level of like now there's a lot more critical reception. These are like hitting, especially with like the more obvious cash grabs we get with like Greek myth retellings you see now.
I also just feel slightly burned with Nolan. Like, still overall a great record, but ever since Tenet came out, I'm like, okay, he can make a bad movie. Like, he's not incapable of it. Like, it doesn't, tarnish all of his great films or, mean that he can't make other great films in the future. But that possibility exists now. So
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about Tenet not being very good. As far as like reaction to the Odyssey, I'm kind of with everyone. I've seen like a mix of both, but I mean, I do, I stand by where I think this will more than likely be at least a good movie, but like, I don't know. Oppenheimer's going to be a hard act to follow because Oppenheimer is viewed as a great movie by most people. And, this is so stylistically different from that. And so stylistically different than what people expect from typical Greek mythology stuff that it could be a hard sell to some audiences, even though I think it will mostly succeed with most like mainstream audiences. The hardcore people, the more like intellectual people, not sure about.
So for Sage and Mike, so is this what you wanted right here?
Maybe not the AI, but just
I mean,
Something like that, because that's the thing. Like the armor is a lot more moldable than that in real life.
Yeah, the plates aren't quite as like.
Yeah,
they feel like they feel like jagged and like they're not fully like clicking into each other.
even something like the Odyssey miniseries armor and looks. I would take that over like a lot of the looks here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also like kind of like world building to a degree, just in general when you are doing a series like this, because like kind of the point is like Odysseus was from the smallest kingdom, and like he had to like kind of like put on the most flair when he went to the Trojan War because he had the most to lose.
And this was the Odyssey miniseries. Let me show a little bit of it here. So this is one from 1997 here.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that actor. I think I've seen him in some stuff.
Yeah, he's an Italian guy.
Yeah. Okay. So you have that as well there. Is that's not Vivica Fox?
Is that Thandie Newton?
No, that's not Thandie. I don't think that's Thandie Newton. That's I've got her name. That's not Vivica. I forgot that actress's name. But
Vanessa Williams.
Yeah, Vanessa Williams.
Yeah. Oh.
Vanessa Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, she played Calypso.
Okay. Yeah. So you got that. Oh. Yeah, so it was woke. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, yeah. So the Odyssey, there, Christopher Nolan's there.